Today we'll talk about a very famous poem of Sarojini Naidu, The Bangle Sellers. Sarojini Naidu was born on 13th February 1879 and she died on 2nd of March 1949. Sarojini Naidu was originally called the Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi. She was known as the Nightingale of India and she earned this nickname for herself because of her contribution to poetry. Her works, rich in imagery, cover a variety of themes love, death, separation, among others. Raised by liberal parents, her creative talents awoke in a home open to scholars and diverse visitors. Sarojini later made passionate speeches on the importance of women's education. She became a close associate of Gopal Krishna Gokhale and Mahatma Gandhi, and a friend of Rabindranath Tagore and Sarla Devi Chaudhrani. A child prodigy, Sarojini Naidu started her literary career at the age of 12. She gained recognition with her play Maher Munir. As a young child, she wrote a 1300-line long poem, The Lady of the Lake. In 1925, she became the first Indian woman president of the Indian National Congress. She died on 2nd of March 1949 owing to the cardiac arrest at a government house in Lucknow while she was working in her office. Now we will go through the text of the Bangle Sellers. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair, who will buy these delicate bright rainbow tinted circles of light, lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. Some are meet for a maiden's wrist, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Some are flushed like the birds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves. Some are like fields of sunlit corn, meet for a bride on her bridal morn. Some, like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of her heart's desire, tinkling, luminous, tender, and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. Some are purple and gold flecked grey, for she who has journeyed through life midway, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and serves her household in fruitful pride, and worships the gods at her husband's side. Naidu's poetry is best known for her use of imagery and contemporary Indian themes. Among her other poems, this poem stands out as a social message that not only discusses the lives of Indian women but also the lives of bangle sellers. The pictorial quality of her poetic creation portrays various stages of a woman's life from her very childhood to death. A series of images and symbols contribute to inculcate the minds of the readers to connect the various colors of the bangles with the different stages of a woman's lifespan. These bangles can be a bait to bring happiness and laughter in the lives of joyous wives and joyous daughters. That is, the women of all ages. Apart from that, patriarchy in the poem Bangle Sellers is largely seen through its implication that the woman's sole purpose in life is to satisfy a male through being physically attractive, providing him sexual fulfillment, serving him, and giving him children that will bring him both pride and prosperity. The poem hints that doing these things will bring women supreme happiness, never mentioning or allowing for the fact that a woman has an individual identity outside of these roles. So, if we look at whatever Sarojini Naidu has said in the stanzas, and if we take an example like the second stanza, where the speaker describes the bangles appropriate for a maiden's wrist, we can see a maiden is particularly an unmarried woman, and the bangles will add allure to her physical appearance so that she may be more pleasing to the male eye, or you can say the male gaze. so she will attract the male gaze towards her. This wish to look appealing largely centers around her hopes of being attractive enough to make a male desire her enough to marry her. So, a maiden's first choice in her life is not career at those times, it is to get married to a deserving person. In the third stanza, you can see that the bangles are ones that are fit for a bride on her wedding day. So, the bangles and the color of the bangles symbolize the woman's happiness at this new stage in life. Her heart's desire is mainly to please her husband in marriage, to play a role of a good wife. Words such as flame, fire, desire, the implication of these words that the main role, the chief role of a wife is mainly to satisfy her husband's sexual needs. In the final stanza, the bangles are best suited to an older married woman whose main purpose is to fulfill the role of a mother. Her job is to give sons to her husband. The author here is an Indian woman, and in the Indian culture, sons are prized much more than daughters, which in itself seems to perpetuate the idea that males have much more value than females. The last few lines of the final stanza are obvious because the examples of the patriarchal society it carries. See, the woman has to give sons for her husband. A woman's job is to serve her household. As the husband is the head of the household, this implies that the woman's job is to serve and obey her husband. The poem itself seems to imply that a woman's happiness in life mostly comes from pleasing and satisfying a male's wants and wishes. Although I really think that there's no mention of the happiness that could be derived by a woman who chooses to live for herself and focus on her desires. So, the main focus of this poem is telling about the different stages of life that a woman goes through. But a woman has its own identity apart from being serving to the male dominating society. So I think this poem has its own implications, but it also is a sort of satire to the condition of women at that point of time when the author was active and writing for the women, the story of the women at those times. And I don't think the time now, if we say the contemporary India now, the time hasn't changed much. If we really look deep into the framework of our country and the gender equation, we can still see it's very much true. Women are still the object of desire for men, and women are also happy to be that object of desire, and they dress and be in a certain kind of way to be the ultimate object for marriage. So here I feel the things haven't changed since Sarojini was writing for this particular society. So there's lot to work on our society. There's lot to figure out what we should change in our society in respect of the gender equation, in respect of women empowerment, and definitely in respect of how women should actually change their thought process and see things in a different perspective. If women don't change their way of thought, I don't think anything can change in the society. No writing, no authors, no poets can bring the change until and unless it comes from us. Women, we have to stand together to bring that change. Thank you so much for hearing this video. I'll definitely come up with a few more poems, analysis, and other stories, which is very close to my heart. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good life. Be nice. Thank you so much. Today we'll talk about